Dad died of grief after daughter 12 was raped and beheaded by an anti-white migrant in France. Anti-white intruder in France. The father of a 12-year-old girl died of grief. These are the people we should be talking about. These are the people, and this is a great example of what we were talking about the other day. How illogical and nonsensical it is, and what a disservice it is, how destructive it is to use the phrase white genocide. Because we have people dying of grief right now. Why would you talk about a fantasy that everybody is going to think about Jews being killed by whites when you mention, and that everybody's going to think you're crazy for mentioning, when you have fathers dying of grief? Father of a 12-year-old girl died of grief after his daughter was kidnapped, raped, tortured, and then beheaded in France by a anti-white. They put sadistic. It's anti-white. That's worse, far worse than sadistic. Algerian intruder, the girl's mother told the court. Lola's body was found horrifically mutilated and partially decapitated in a suitcase after she was murdered in 2022. But things are so much better. In a case that shocked the nation and sparked protests over lax immigration enforcement. A prostitute who overstayed her visa in France was convicted of the anti-white terrorism and murder of this lovely daughter of the West. And we mention here the ramifications of these things and the effect on the family. Austin Metcalf and his family. They're so often dead for the rest of their lives. And the white sympathetic sphere doesn't talk about them. They spend their time talking about non-whites. She was given a life sentence, should have been triple execution, without the chance of parole. Lola's mother addressed the court last week explaining that after years of sobriety, her husband began drinking the day after their daughter's body was found. He drank from morning till night and died of grief. Now you can think about the rest of the family and how they're going to be dead for the rest of their days. They lost their beautiful daughter of the West savagely by this anti-white terrorist, anti-white murderer, anti-white rapist, anti-white monster. And now they've lost their husband and father, brother, son. The white race needs to care about these people the same way the Jews would if these were Jews. Is it Johan, dead at age 49? During the trial, the court was shown photos of the young Lola's tortured body, including horrific injuries to her genitals. The anti-white terrorist lured the young girl into her sister's apartment after school. The court was told she forced Lola to undress and raped her before torturing her and stabbing her with scissors duct taping her mouth, causing her to suffocate to death. There'll be, look at this, there'll be a change in the world for the better when things like this happen and the white race in France, in Germany, in America, in Canada, in Australia, all around the world stand up and denounce the anti-whiteism. The numbers 1 and 0 were mysteriously written on Lola's feet, according to authorities. Delphine addressed her daughter's killer as this thing, this monster. Why did Lola follow her? Anti-whiteism. She thought it would have been racist not to. And they're wrong. Social morality of anti-whiteism intact. If French nationalism, there are parties in France that are arguing for French nationalism, would that fix this? No. Lola would have followed her in still, because it's the same social morality. That's how we were infected and undermined by anti-whiteism when we were ethno-nationalist countries and had 100% or nearly 100% of the population white. My darling, I still don't understand why there was so much cruelty and barbarity toward you. You were so kind. The horrific details of the case sparked protests across the country, with many calling on the government to tighten immigration restrictions. Is that evidence of pro-white anything? Nope. We have seen those kind of protests across the West from the very beginning. Lola lost her life because you didn't expel this national. That's not centering white people. Lola's mother and brother pushed for the anti-white terrorist life sentence and were pleased with the outcome. In determining the appropriate sentence, the court took into account the unspeakable psychological damage to the victim and her family. That was then, 22. Now we have a white girl raped in Europe who didn't get raped long enough for there to be punishment. I wouldn't say things have gotten better. I think you're measuring the wrong things if you're going to conclude that they're getting better. We, though, have the remedy with the Go Free Dialogic. It's working with everybody who applies it and puts their hands on it, changing their own lives and the lives of those around them. How much longer will you wait?